There we go. Everybody can see us now. Yay. Hello everybody. So I'm sure people will jump on and watch as we get going. Lots of people probably watch on the replay. So I would just like to start by introducing, this is about my 6th, I think, interview for Creative Conversations. They are a series that I've created of informal interviews with other women who run creative businesses and have a story to tell. And I want to share their story so that it can inspire and empower and motivate other people. And today's interviewee is Emma. Hello. Welcome. So Emma, introduce yourself.
So obviously my name's Emma, and I also go by the other name of Naughty Morty, a very cheeky little mouse that was created. And I am mother of 2 children, wife, and just me.
Just you. That's going to become apparent soon that you're not just you. Okay, so tell us a bit about what you do. What is your creative business?
So it actually started quite organically. I was illustrating and doodling just to regain some strength, and I just slowly developed characters, and I wrote little stories for the characters, sort of not fully aware that they were kind of based around the things I was going through at the time, but just in a very different format. So a very creative outlet for other things going on in my life. And you know, people kept saying, you should publish this, you should do this, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that then. And it has been, to say a steep learning curve, probably more like a vertical climb, to learn how to publish a book and illustrate a book and everything like that. So we're almost a year in now. The business started in February, so we're officially titled an illustrator and a publisher, but I prefer doodler and writer.
Doodler, yeah, I love that. It's much better that when we run our own businesses, we can create our own job titles. We can be whatever we want to be, and that's fab. I love the title doodler. Yeah, definitely. So tell us a bit more then about how your business got started, where it all began.
So it all began, so I've got quite a few health issues, especially during the last almost 5 years now. So I had a stroke in 2015 in October. Of all days to have a stroke, mine was actually on World Stroke Day. You cannot make that up.
So well done you.
I know. So yeah, so I had my stroke. I already had kidney disease, and just to sort of, as I was recovering from the stroke and sort of making quite good headway, my kidneys then went into failure quite quickly, and I was very poorly. I had to have hemodialysis via an emergency neckline. So I was really, really poorly, and I went downhill. It didn't handle dialysis very well. And 11 months after dialysis, my dad very kindly donated his kidney to me. So that was that was amazing. Straight away, kidney started working on the table. And, you know, I had a vision in my head that was it. Once I have my kidney, that's it. I'm done. I'm finished. And oh, no. The immunosuppressants can have a neuro side effect, and I suffered quite badly with neuropathy, and the levels of my immunosuppressants shot really, really high. So I had what they call tacrolimus toxicity. So I actually thought I was having another stroke. My speech slurred and everything. Thankfully, I didn't. They managed the med, but the side effects has had a massive impact on my stroke side. And again, hindered my recovery to the point I couldn't move, couldn't walk, couldn't dress. My husband had to do everything for me all over again. It was like having the stroke all over again. And that was March last year. And I just, you know, it affected my right side. And I just picked up the pens again and tried to draw. I have to sit in a specific way to aid my disabilities. And I just doodled. And I wanted to doodle something else. And I posted in the craft group, and they said, you're best off just create your own thing. Don't worry about copyright, create your own thing. And there you go. So I was like, okay. So doodled a little mouse in a plant pot. That was it. That was the birth of Naughty Morty on the 12th of August. And it came about simply because I was just trying to, a bit of physiotherapy for my arm, try to regain it. And that was it. So it happened very organically.
Okay. So before you had your stroke, were you kind of into art, and was that something that you did beforehand anyway?
It was to a degree. So I always wanted to do fashion as a child, and circumstances I didn't get to do that. And my husband said, "Oh, you should get back into it." I've always been creative. I've always had a love and enjoyment of business, but all encompassing. So I love the development. I love the marketing. I love all the background of it, and I love what it produces. So I had a child minding business. I had a craft business. I did a bit of network marketing. I was also chairperson of a play school. So I was very, my hands were in a lot of different pies, and I was just soaking up as much knowledge from all of those pies as I possibly could. And not so much the drawing side of it, but the creative side of making things I definitely had. So it was there always.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you have that entrepreneurial spirit, that kind of just wanting to create more and be part of that. Yeah, it's the thing that most people describe why they love having their own business, that freedom to do their own thing, that kind of it is that excitement of every day is a little bit different, and you can choose what path you go in. So
yeah, I mean, with a lot of the business, I actually said, so I always believe in ask the universe and you get. And I said, I want a business that I can be creative with, that isn't going to be one of those things that I have to do the thing for each customer. I wanted to be able to do the thing and be able to put it out there in a way that it's done and it can multiply. So I mean, I do a lot of personal development, and I do a lot of reading, and I read I don't know if you've seen this one before, but it's Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. And lots of no. And it said to create your life purpose. So this was way before I had my stroke, and it was use your integrity and creativity to inspire and encourage others to do all the things they love and are passionate about, for them to do it fearlessly with love in their hearts and belief in their soul. And I kept saying, I just want to be able to do this. I just want to. And then I had the stroke, and I don't know, have you seen Evan Almighty, the film?
Yeah.
And when he's in the shop and he says, if you ask God for this, do you think he gives you warm, cuddly, or the opportunity to be this? So everything I've been through, it's not giving me what I want, it's giving me the opportunity to become who I need to be to get what I want, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because I was going to kind of come on to talking about this with you, that I mean, obviously I don't know you that well, and I literally came across your story that you shared a snippet of in somebody else's group, and it just was struck out to me that you were somebody that I needed to talk to, especially to do one of these interviews with. But what struck me in the way that you shared your story was that you understood exactly what you've just said, that the thing that happened to you, so having your stroke, potentially was, life changing, debilitating. It was that chance, almost like that fork in the road, where you could have gone, this is horrendous, this is my dreams over, this is this path. Or you could, like you said, look at it from a possibility of an opportunity, that this is what I can do. But I'm almost certain that at the time you were going through those things, you weren't thinking in that particular mindset. You were probably just going with the flow of how things felt. Is that?
Because I've done a lot of personal development, So in the Jack Canfield book, Success Principles, highly recommend, by the way. The first chapter is take 100% responsibility for your life. So the event that is happening to you is that event. You can't change that event. And the only way you have an effect on the outcome is how you react to that event. And so I had my stroke on the Thursday. It couldn't be officially confirmed that it was a stroke until the Monday when the consultants were back in. And he came round and said, yep, you had a stroke. Can you write down the numbers 1 to 10, write down your name and just write a sentence? So I did that, and I wrote, I'm going home on Friday. And he looked and he said, I don't understand. And I said, I'm going home on Friday. And he said, what do you mean? Do you have an appointment? I said, no, I'm going home on Friday. I want to pick my kids up from school on Friday. I'm going home. And he went, okay, we'll work to that. So I had the mindset already of, I can't change what's happened. I can just change how I react. So I laid in bed. I did good toes, naughty toes from my old ballet days to try and get my legs moving again. When I was finally allowed back out of the bed to try and walk, I was in a ward that was monitored 24/7. So we had our own nurse. I rang the buzzer and said, can I go to the toilet, please? And I did that every single hour on the hour to try and just walk to the toilet. And in the end, she got the physio back and said, can she just go to the toilet on her own, please? So I was then able to just keep going. So I could have either sat in bed and just waited for the 1 hour slot a day for the physio, or I could do something about it myself. So that's what I did, and it worked up until I had a shower and I got stuck for about half an hour because I couldn't get back up off the floor. But other than that, everything was really good. I just wanted to shave my legs and I couldn't do it. So I sat down in the cubicle and then I was like, oh no, I don't know how to get back up again. So I sat there for about half an hour until
before someone noticed you were missing, or before somebody answered your call bell?
Well, no, I didn't even think about the call, but I managed to I don't know how I did. I think I might have opened the door and just sort of clambered out, however I did it. And sort of as I was getting out of the shower, I was in my own room by this point. This was on the Thursday, I think, just before I was going home. And the nurse then came in at that same point, and I was laughing, and I told her what happened. She went, why didn't you ring the call bell? I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like a great big orange, but no.
Yeah.
I'll just do it the hard way. That's just me.
No, it's the determination factor though, isn't it? Like you could have done the call bell, but actually what you wanted was to achieve that yourself. So there's something underlying in there. So tell me a bit more then about how, because obviously from reading your story, what jumped out to me was this woman who has triumphed adversity. Because when you kind of look back at the bare facts of, having a kidney disease, having a stroke, needing a kidney transplant, suffering the side effects of that, having to retrain yourself in terms of gaining your motor control and stuff, you would think that's so much. And I know, obviously, like you said, that personal development and having that mentality has helped you through. But how do you think it shaped your business? What traits do you think has helped to shape your business?
Well, I think at the same time, I knew, I wasn't right. So after the transplant, and as I was doing the illustrations, I wasn't right. I'm a very pragmatic person to a degree, and I was just getting upset at the most silliest things, and I was crying, but not like an upset, but I was sobbing to the point that I was thinking to myself, why am I crying over this? I would never normally be like this. So I sought some help and looked at counselling, and it was sort of at the same time. So the Naughty Morty and the Red and Blue Sock was about me being naughty Morty, going in the sock and falling in and being helpless and having to rely on friends and family to come and aid me and help me out. So like I say, a lot of the stories kind of have another background to them. And in the end, I was diagnosed with having PTSD from the stroke. So there were certain areas I really couldn't discuss. And, so people think that if you are strong, determined, and things like that, that, oh, you don't suffer with things like this, or you don't have anxieties, or you don't. No, I do. I have anxieties, especially with my health and coronavirus and lockdown. And, you know, the business has been a crutch for me to be able to have that outlet. So a lot of what Whimsical Woodland Way is me, and a lot of it's how I feel and how I want to feel and how I want other people to feel. So there's, you know, it's not a case of I wanted to be an illustrator and I wanted to be an author. There's that kind of the tools that I was given, if you like, to get across what I want to get across.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a bit more about the characters that you've created then.
So yeah, I created Naughty Morty first, and he came about. I drew him in a plant pot. I was trying to colour his cheeks in and very pale, so I have a blender pen, put the blender pen down and it came out blue, and I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do? Posted it on the craft page. I was like, right, help me out here, what do I do, because it's got blue cheeks, why? What can I do to rectify it? And people were commenting, could it be holding balloons, could it be holding this? And that moment struck of, oh my god, he's in a plant pot, they're flowers, for goodness sake. So drew all the flowers on him, and I just said, oh, look at that naughty little mouse. Look at that. And I was saying to my kids, he's a naughty mouse. Look at him in the plant pot. He's naughty. And the only name I could think of to rhyme with naughty was Morty. So that was it. That was it. So then I was like, oh, other woodland creatures. Who else can I have? Oh, I'm going to have a Rory rabbit. I'm going to have this character and that character. And then I wrote the story. And it was at that point, so when Naughty Morty's stuck in the sock, the first three animals that come to his rescue are Rory the rabbit, Felix the fox, and Bobby the bear. And as I was developing their characters, I was like, oh my god, they're my kids, and Rory rabbit is my husband. So it was kind of subconscious.
Yeah.
So that's how the characters came about. And, you know, I'll think of something and I'll be like, oh my god, that's like this person. So it kind of helps me develop the characters and the stories and things like that. So
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I totally get it, and I love the fact that on one level they're simple stories for children to enjoy, but from your point of view or from anybody else who's having a tough time, there's a deeper meaning that can be connected to in there, and I think that's really, really special. And it's really personal and unique to you. It's a lovely way of you encompassing what you've been through in a positive way.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and it's, you know, it's whimsy. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit, you know, I have my whimsical helpers. You know, we've all got our whimsical names, and we've got our admin whimsical, social whimsical. So we've got all, you know, different ladies who all have businesses, who are all helping and you know, involved with the business as well. And, you know, I support their businesses, I share their pages on my website and things like that. So it's just, you know, that way of uplifting and supporting, and I think that's the most important thing, is to uplift and encourage others. That is my biggest goal in life. To just
absolutely get it. This is why I'm here. So I totally share that and understand what you're saying, and I love how you've kind of incorporated them into your brand as well. That they're more than just like somebody that you pay to do something for you. They're part of your brand as well. It's really sweet. So
speaking of, can I just say, sorry, speaking of being a mum in business, and speaking of Felix Fox and Bobby the bear, they've just popped into my room and I need to ask you a question. So if I could yes, what was your question?
Go for it.
Yes, you can. Yes, take a yogurt.
Love it.
Yes, you can take some nuts.
Business is all about. So I know my kids regularly interrupt me, or both of them. So what do you kind of hope others can gain from you sharing your story? Because obviously I know your story tells everybody where your business came from, but you don't have to share it. Ultimately, you could just have your business and not really tell anybody the backstory. But yeah, I know that you're very, very vocal in a good way about sharing your backstory. But what do you hope that it will help others to gain? So
I have a blog that I'll be doing. I've got one post, and I'm hoping that people can see, you know, it doesn't take a strong, determined, you know, all of these words to be successful. The only word that it ever takes is why. Why are you doing this? And if your why is strong enough and big enough and you believe in it hard enough, you will find a way. And that's the only thing. So if your why is not there, you can have determination, you can have willpower, you can have perseverance. They wear off, but your why is that solid foundation. And that's what I want to share with people.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like what I'm banging on about all the time. So I'm so glad you said it, because when other people say it, it doesn't make me look so neurotic about it. So you're absolutely right. And I think I love the way that you've woven into your why, your experiences, and how you've not how they've shaped what you do, but how you overcame them, and how you kind of, like you said, saw them as that opportunity to give you the opportunities you wanted. You didn't ask the universe and have it land in your lap like a really clear, here you go, do it like this. In some respect, you could say, you know, the universe was a little bit mean and put you through certain things. But I really believe that we're put through these things to shape and to give us the opportunity to make choices. Because like you said, if we've made a choice to do something and it becomes part of our why, we're much more passionate and cling on to it much more. If it's just kind of dropped in our lap, it's not the same.
I think it's that feeling of, I've earned this, I've worked hard for this, and it's almost like your baby, because it's so involved with you personally. And it's, you know, when I talk about naughty Morty and all things like that, and you know, that it's me, and it's so strange. But you know, I believe in ask the universe, and I always say, you know, positive language as well. So thank you, universe, I'm so glad I have a successful business. And you know, even silly things. And I've literally, I've scribbled it down just here. Where am I? Just here. But talk about ask the universe. We have some old clothes for the kids, and they're all in a pile in the living room. And we're like, what are we going to do with these kids? You know, we'll have to try and get rid of them. The people don't come round anymore with the bags, fill the bags. Today, we got a bag. I was like, oh my God. So just before I came on here, he was like, oh my God, we've just got a bag to put the clothes in. I was like, see, ask the universe.
And no, you're absolutely right. We're not designed to solve problems on our own. And that whole kind of saying, it takes a village to raise a child, I think there's a bigger meaning to that, in the sense that we're not designed to have all the answers by ourselves and to know. But just saying something out loud is like literally sending it to the collective consciousness and saying, okay, I need an answer to this. I'm going to say it out loud. It goes off into that collective consciousness, and someone hears it and says the answer back to you, and it comes back to you. It never stops fascinating me how that can happen.
But it's the same. It's the thing of the subconscious mind that people don't realize. So if I say to you, white Mercedes, I'm going to buy you a white Mercedes. It's going to be the best white Mercedes ever. You're going to love this white Mercedes. It puts that in your head. So when you go out, you're going to go, oh, look, there's a white Mercedes. Oh, look. And then all of a sudden, there's white Mercedes everywhere, because it's in that subconscious bit. So when you see it, it will almost trigger, and you will notice it even more. So if anybody's watching, you know, think about this white Mercedes. Imagine driving it. And
you're going to see them everywhere now.
You're going to see them everywhere. And it's that thing of, like you say, you ask the question, and your subconscious mind is always there. So when the answer appears, it's almost like that. Oh my God, look, but your subconscious mind's always working on it. It's always trying to, and then as soon as it finds it, it will pop up and go, you know, that thing, there you go. And it, you know, it delivers.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. I heard a similar analogy to something like that once, about when you're asking the universe for something, if you're really super specific, and sometimes this I hear this, you know, with the whole law of attraction thing, that if you're super specific, you know, I would like a new red car, this particular brand, and you're putting that out there all the time into the universe, and then it never materializes, but you get the opportunity to. The lady who wrote the article, she wrote down that she had this opportunity to have this red bike was just literally left outside her door, right there. She just ignored it all the time and carried on trying to struggle. And it was this sign that the universe gave her the opportunity. It wasn't how she expected it to look. It wasn't what she thought it was going to be, but it was an opportunity. And it's the similar chord strikes me with what you were saying right at the beginning, that you asked for this opportunity and the universe gave it to you, but it wasn't what you wanted it to look like in the direct, you know.
Yeah, I mean, retrospectively, you can always look back and sort of see the events and your course of action and where it's led you to. But you know, at the time, you're not sort of thinking so much that this is the reason why I'm going through this. At the moment I am, I think, because I'm a lot more, you know, again, reading the personal development, everything across from Buddhism, which, you know, I love the philosophy, to Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, Susan Jeffers, The Slight Edge. So anything from business, finance, personal development, self-esteem, all of that. I read a huge range of things. And I think because it's at the forefront, you know, when things are happening, I am quite conscious to sort of say, you know, all of the things that happened today and yesterday, you know, it's now given me the opportunity to fine tune some of the way I do my business. And so I'm quite conscious that, right, this is happening for a reason and I need to learn a lesson from it. So it's now at the forefront because I know, you know, having gone through it over the last 5 years, I can see that, do you know what, you're leading me somewhere. You lead, I follow. I'll go. Yeah. I'm easy now. I'll just go with the flow.
I 100% get it, because this is exactly what I'm trying to do when I work with my clients, is give them that, teach them to know that trust. Because like you said, it takes time. You have to get to a place where you can feel uncomfortable with the situation, but trust that it has a higher purpose and that you're going to get there in the end. But I just love what's come from your journey, the business that you've created, the products that you've created as well. I just think it's so amazing and has so much scope to help and inform other people. I think that's like the real gift in what you do, apart from the fact that obviously you're incredibly talented in your doodles.
Thank you.
You must share on this comment section, you must share like links to your page and things so people can go and have a look at Naughty Morty in the flesh. Before I leave you, just something that I always ask all of my guests is, who inspires you? Where do you gain your inspiration?
So Joe, I read your the questions that you emailed, and I really thought about this, and I was thinking, who inspires me? And it's not actually, I don't have a single person who inspires me. I'm more inspired by actions that people take. And when somebody, you know, there's a gentleman who has started a business writing stories for his child who's disabled. He has Krabbe's disease, and and it's those actions that inspire me. And when you hear stories about, I can't recall his name, who just turned 100 and raised the money for the NHS. Yeah. It's those actions that I think inspire me, as opposed to a specific individual. You know, I just
totally understand that. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The actions of others have massive effects on us. So I'm just going to end by saying, continue to be the inspiration to other people. Don't stop sharing your story in the way that you share it, just so passionately, because without realizing, your actions are inspiring other people. And I don't think you realize how powerful that is.
You know, it's one of the things about inspiration is that this is, again, who inspires me actually. people will say, you're incredible, you're amazing, you're this, you're that. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not. It's my husband and my kids, the quiet ones behind the scenes that no one sees, who, you know, help me walk up the stairs. My husband who helps get me ready for bed and when I can't do things. My children who have, you know, from the ages of 4 and 7 and 11 have had to become carers, learn how to wash, cook, clean. You know, their help and their love and just their support is like, I look at them and I just think, you are incredible. And I want everyone else to know that they're the ones that are incredible. They're the ones that are amazing, because they're the ones that can actually technically walk away from all of this and say, whoa, it's too much for me, I can't do it, and walk away. I can't walk away from what I've got. I'm stuck with it. So the fact that they choose to stay and support me and continue to love me and encourage me just blows my mind.
That's so lovely. But you must take some recognition for yourself. You had so many choices that put in your way, so many forks in your path, and you chose, like you said, you could have chose to lay in that hospital bed and wait for your 1 hour a day. You could have chose to wallow, you know, not necessarily consciously, but lots of people just choose, you know, to let certain things that happen define them, and you've chosen not to take that path. So that's a credit to you too. But you know, your family support you because they love you so much, of course.
Yes.
Well, it's been wonderful to chat to you and get to know you a little bit more. Keep being part of our community, because we need inspirational people to guide us in our little community. So keep sharing, and I can't wait to see what else you achieve.
Thank you. It's been really, really fun. So thank you for asking me in the first place. So I feel quite privileged.
You're so welcome. And if you have any questions, if you're watching this back, most people watch these back on replay, or if you're watching this via my YouTube channel, please do leave some questions for Emma in the comments, and she will answer your questions. Or she's going to leave all the ways you can contact her and find her business too, so you can always go and take a look at what she's got to offer. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.